Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. What is going on, everybody? And welcome back to another episode of Turf Today, brought to you by Toro. And this episode, as always, is being recorded on the Superintendent Network. And ladies and gentlemen, we are down in San Diego right now having an absolute blast for the GCS AA Conference and Trade Show. We hope you're down here, and if you're not, maybe next year. We'll be back in Orlando on the East Coast. Might be a little more accessible for some folks. This has been a week. We started off with the GCS AA Golf Championships, also presented by Toro. Amazing sponsor. We got to thank those guys for everything they did. That was a fantastic few days. Congrats to the winners. Congrats to everybody that got a plate, had some fun, met some friends. I might have donated a few balls to a few of those courses, but hey, we had an absolute blast and couldn't ask for anything more. We also have to shout out Mr. Craig Stanley, who took home the brand new GTX in the par 3 shootout, dropping that thing to 4 feet. Nobody else could even touch that. So it's Tuesday, which means 4 to 6:30 tonight, downtown in the Gaslamp district of San Diego, Whiskey Girl, we are having the Superintendent Network Turf Today party. Oh, this is going to be good. If you can RSVP through our Instagram, go for it. If you have already, fantastic. If you haven't and you can't, come on out. It's going to be so much fun. Wednesday, you're going to find us on the trade show floor. We're going to be out there with a lot of stuff going on. There's 4 different places you can find us. The Toro booth, the Andersons booth, the Redexum booth, and the Standard Golf booth. Come on out and see us. We got some stickers. We're going to do some interviews, do some pictures. It's going to be awesome. I've had a lot of people asking lately how they can get involved with the show. The best way is to go on and rate the show for us and leave us a review. That's all you got to do. We love everybody out there and appreciate all your support. Right back after this. Turf Today is brought to you by Toro. Imagine a fairway mower that drives itself. A GPS-guided sprayer that's so precise it virtually eliminates overlap. Or a battery-powered commercial mower that can handle the toughest of grass from dawn till dusk. This isn't just a vision for the future. It's what's happening now at Toro. They're constantly working on solutions based on real input from real customers. So follow Toro on Instagram or X and stay up to date on how Toro is always solving and always evolving.
It's time for Ask the Agronomist, presented by the Andersons.
Well, we're now back with another question for our agronomist, Ben Pease from the Andersons. This one today comes in from Mr. Fids, and it is, can you avoid dollar spot by water management, rolling, or fertilizing?
Yeah, that's a good topic. Thanks for the question. The short answer is no, but the longer answer is yes. You know, we can greatly reduce our dollar spot incidence with cultural practices like that. So some of it, if you're doing any renovations or overseeding or regrassing, things like that, you know, we can work in some dollar spot resistant varieties. But, you know, they're being kind of pushed to their limit already with decreased mowing heights that we're seeing today and the trend of reduced fertility as well, and increased traffic, increased rounds. So even a dollar spot resistant variety is going to need some help on the cultural side, like he's asking, you know, in regards to water management or rolling and fertilizing. So one thing that the research has shown on water management is if we can keep the soil volumetric water content slightly higher, that leads to less dollar spot development. So it's not like you want to flood your greens, but greens are fairways, but you just want to keep them out of water stress. And, you know, most turf managers are cognizant of that, but don't let them dip into water stress. Keep the soil volumetric water content, you know, a bit higher if you want to reduce dollar spot. There has been a lot of good research out there over the last decade or so on using rolling. So So there was a study that was done in 2012 by Giordano at MSU, and they found that you could reduce dollar spot incidence even by rolling just once a day. And it didn't matter the time of day. So I know most of us are rolling right after mowing, or if you're not mowing, you're rolling right in the morning. But you can do it. They figured out you could do it morning or afternoon, and you'd still get the very similar dollar spot reduction. So that's a big thing, rolling or dragging if it's a larger area. Basically, we're trying to remove the dew, remove that, morning gutation, and they've also showed that rolling contributes to like a more prostrate growth. So we're, instead of growing upwards, we're growing outwards, and that seems to have an effect on reducing dollar spot incidence. In my mind, fertilization is the big thing that's kind of dipped in dollar spot management recently. Well, not recently, maybe over the last 10 or 20 years, kind of the running to see who can use the least nitrogen. Well, that's counterproductive when we're trying to reduce our diseases, especially dollar spot. Dollar spot's a low nitrogen disease. So making sure you're on a good fertility program that's, feeding the turf what it needs and not starving it. That's a really big way to reduce dollar spot. So we want to start with our slow release granular base, and this works for warm season turf or cool season turf. Granular base in the spring, and then we're supplementing, throughout the year with foliar applications, and maybe, a couple other granular applications if the weather permits. But yeah, fertility is a big part. Along fertility and rolling, I think, are the biggest parts of dollar spot management outside of standard fungicides.
What fertility rate would be necessary to reduce the dollar spot?
Well, I think you got to average about a half pound of nitrogen or more per month of growing. So that could be, 4 to 5 pounds in a warm season setting, 3 to 3.5 in the cool season setting. Over 4 for cool season, yeah, we're going to get too much thatch and things of, too much growth. So really, if you can stay above 3 pounds per thousand up north, and 4.5 down south, that's really going to go a long ways. If you try to feed your greens at 2 pounds per 2 pounds per thousand for the whole year, you might see a little bit more dollar spot incidence, because like I said, it's a low nitrogen disease. That's one of our best indicators of low nitrogen is dollar spot.
You got to be smart there. And you mentioned dragging and maybe dew whippings. Is that something that you can supplement instead of rolling?
Yeah. So anything you can do to remove the water in the morning, the gutation. So yeah, sometimes you'll carry a dew whip and get some greens whipped off if you're not rolling, or if it's a large area like fairways, even though there are some fairway rollers out there now, but more commonly we're still using ropes or weighted ropes or a full hose to do larger areas like that, and it facilitates the same concept. Maybe there's not as much downward pressure, but you're still removing that dew and gutation, which is a big factor. So yep, dragging can work as well.
Very
on the larger
important.
areas. Yep.
I know the dew rope's one of
Question.
my favorite tools on the course. I love seeing that thing go around. It's so satisfying.
That's the funniest tool. I remember seeing one of those for the first time, and I had no idea what it was. But then once you get to use it a little bit, it becomes a little bit of fun.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You just got to be careful where you're going or where your buddy's going.
Uh, yep.
Thanks to Ben Pease and the Andersons for another installment of Ask the Agronomist. We will see you next week. If you want to get a question in, send it to us or send it to somebody at the Andersons and they will get it to us.
Hey,
What's up?
What's going
how's
on?
it going?
Ty just walked in.
I just got here. What's up, boys?
Well, it's perfect timing.
Outstanding. So you got out of daddy duty today, Ty?
Yeah, he's still at Rob's mother-in-law's.
Okay.
I need to do a little NDA stuff so I don't get in trouble with my logo. So we're just gonna.
Nice. There you go.
Not allowed to be seen anywhere other than on property.
I don't even know. So I just try to avoid it.
Last time we put some blue painter's tape over it. It looked real professional.
Yeah, good one.
That's outstanding. How you guys doing?
Good.
I was gonna say, yeah, joining us from sunny Florida, huh? Nice and warm down there, huh?
Antarctica, Florida.
It's gloomy.
What is it, 60?
I don't even think it's 60. What
50,
what does it say?
what do you got?
Oh, 59.
59.
Close.
It's
Oh, there you go.
below.
There you go.
Yeah. But it was yesterday was horrible and Wednesday was so bad. It felt like it didn't get above 50 at all. It was just rainy and nasty and cold.
Yeah,
Yikes.
you're not getting a ton of sympathy out of the northern guys here. So
No.
Yeah, I was talking to my buddies the other day, and they said it's a degree. It's a degree outside. They're complaining about 60. It's 60 times warmer there than it
that's
is
right.
here in
That's right.
Colorado.
Even the North Florida guys don't give us any leeway. They're like, no, you're no. You can't cry about that.
I was gonna say, didn't they get some snow in North Florida?
Yeah, they
Looks like
did.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Pensacola, a little bit in Jax.
Yeah.
More ice.
Kind of right across the panhandle, straight across, kind of got it. Tallahassee, that kind of stuff.
Wow. So people vacationing down there playing golf had to take a few days off.
Well, if they're vacationing, they think it's really good weather still. We're
Yeah.
all bundled up and they're in shorts. So like,
Oh, it's nuts. So, guys, get things started here. Tell us a little bit about yourselves and kind of the relationship and how you guys got started on this turf talk stuff.
you want to start? Want me to lead? You
Go
lead?
for it.
Yeah, Ty Robb. I started in the industry about 10 years ago, maybe longer now. Yeah, longer now. 2011 is when I first started in Northern Virginia. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I failed out of a few different colleges. And then I started working on a golf course because I needed to do something. And I fell in love with it. So, working at low end, executive club to start out and kind of work my way up through public and then private, exclusive. So throughout the last 10 years, I moved to Florida. I was up in Pennsylvania, worked in Texas a little bit, and then graduated from Rutgers and moved down to Florida. Been here 10 years now. So yeah, I've been longer than that. So moved to Florida and started working at Piper's Landing down the street from Rob's house here. And I guess when we first met, I found a picture of Rob in the office. I was cleaning out the office. He used to work there years before I got there. And he got Employee of the Month. And I sent him a picture of it. I said, do you want this? He followed me on Twitter at the time. And I messaged him and said, hey, you want this picture? He said, I got one at the house. It's fine. And then we would just message back and forth. And then that kind of started the relationship there.
What's funny, I actually still have it on here.
Oh, nice. There you go.
March of 2019. That's it right there. That's pretty funny.
You have that.
It's saved in there. It's saved back.
What did you do to become Employee of the Month, though? There's got to be a story or something.
Let me see.
Well, I think it was just when we were doing a renovation and I was the spray tech there. So I was doing a lot of spraying stuff out, a lot of fertilizing, all that kind of stuff. So actually, I took a picture on the tractor that was, yeah, it had a 500-gallon sprayer or a 1,000-gallon sprayer with the tractor, and that's what I took my picture of. So you tell how cool I was in the color picture. I had white Oakley sunglasses.
Oh, yeah.
Man,
Those were stylish back in the day.
That's where I was at. Yeah. They were good. They were good looking. Yeah. 2006, 2005.
Yeah. Right around then. Yeah, that's when the rappers were all wearing them.
Yeah, that's me. I'm a rapper.
You do that in your spare time, Rob?
Yes, exactly.
Rappers and greenkeepers.
50 Cent.
You want to cover your start on it?
What's your background?
I jokingly say that I've been, kind of put into this part of my life, the turf grass life, since I was really young, because both of my soccer coaches, one was a golf course superintendent and the other one ran the high school golf course that we have at South Fork. So I remember one of the first things we'd gone to practice one time and they'd aerified. And what are these little dog turds all over the field? I didn't know what we were looking at. So they kind of explained what it was. And that's kind of where it took off from there. And then playing golf with my cousin kind of got a little bit more interested in it. But used to go to school with my friend and his dad when he'd go to school during the summer. And we'd go and just play there was a 3-hole par 3 golf course. We'd just go and screw around and hit some balls and ride around with him on the cart. And that's kind of where it started with that part of it. But, working in the bag room for a little bit, actually at Hammock Creek, where I am now 20 years ago. And I kind of worked outside a little bit too. But when I was out of high school through that program that they had there, I went to Indian River State College right here in Port St. Lucie, Fort Pierce. Was there for 2 years. And I've worked at multiple golf courses from Boynton Beach up to Vero, and ended up where I am now at Hammock Creek, right down the road from where I am now, where I worked 20 years ago. So some things change, some things stay the same. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, what's that like working at a course 20 years later, kind of coming full circle and now kind of, being in management?
Yeah, it's cool because there's even a couple of Rangers that were there then that are still there. One of them he'd gotten really sick, so he's kind of around, but he's not really working anymore. But his grandson works there, so I get to tell him all the stories from when I worked with
Nice.
him in the back room and different things. And there's another guy that Adam that I actually played soccer with and little league with growing up that's been there, that's in the cart barn, that he is still there. So it's kind of it's a weird thing when you see me and him together, especially when there's a minor league golf tour is ran by one of the guys that was in the bag room when I was there, and the old GM is actually one of his workers also. So you get all four of us together when they host a tournament at my place, and it's really going back in time, seeing all four of us together because all four of us were working together at the same time back in early 2000. But no, it's real special going back to some place that I feel. I also played high school golf there too, so it's very refreshing knowing that it's still there and we can keep going in the right direction that it was from that long ago.
That's very cool. So I want to know how you guys connected then and what the genesis of Turf Talk is.
So I started it out just kind of rolling solo. The spaces it started on X. They came out with the spaces, and my wife was pregnant, so I wasn't really going out, but I still wanted to like talk with guys in the industry. Usually Fridays you get off early and you can go out and meet up with a bunch of soups and assistants and just talk about what's going on, what you're seeing. Well, I wasn't getting that because I had to be around. I had to be at the house. I had to be there, just be there for my wife. So I started doing the spaces, and I will credit Mike Rollins because he was doing Rollins on the road, and the mechanics. They had great conversations. I would pop into their space and just listen in and give my 2 cents, and I thought it was great. So I said, I think soups assistants, we could do this. We could do this too. So I just started doing it. Called it Turf Talk, or I was doing it every Tuesday. So Turf Talk Tuesdays. People would just show up, join in, and we just talked about whatever it was. We didn't have any topics or any content we wanted to cover. It was just getting in there and just shooting it. And then it started to grow, and I couldn't do it every week. And I would say, hey, Rob, or Todd Lowe was an early one. Hey, can you host it? I want to keep doing it. People keep showing up. And then Rob kept coming back, and I was like, I need help with this. This is a lot of work. So then I asked Rob, hey, do you want to be co-host, and let's do this thing. And yeah.
I remember getting text messages from him being like, "Hey, Turf Talk, what am I going on now? I'm trying to cook dinner. Got 4 hellions running on." It just became, it kept coming along. And when Ty was inviting me, like, hey, if we're gonna do this, let's go for it. Let's really, do this as big as we can go with it. And that's kind of where it really started. And we started pushing where we are now.
Back in the early days of Turf Talk, was there any really good topics, or was there anything that was really important that kind of really sparked some good conversations for you guys that led to kind of, okay, this is something we should kind of, keep going?
I just think it was really enjoyable, and we got a lot of people that you could just pop in there, even if somebody came in for 10 minutes, talked about their day. If we're always calling people if you had a problem, superintendent's that brotherhood that we all have. But you're able to go on that platform and you could talk, and there could be 10 people in there. Instead of you calling each individually or texting them or whatever, you can just come on there and start talking about it. We could maybe help solve a problem or make something easier on somebody, or find people jobs. I mean, it could have been something as simple as that somebody was moving or wanted to play golf somewhere and they didn't know somebody in that area, and maybe somebody knew them. Just that was the beginning, really, where it was just everybody helping each other and talking. And wasn't really a therapy session, but it kind of felt like it when you got to talk and you were able to talk to like-minded people and get some things up in the air. And I don't know, it was just nice to have when a lot of people needed somebody to talk to.
Yeah, and I think in the early days, the coolest part about it, what I liked the most, was just connecting with people I'd never met before, and just having a regular conversation with them.
We always go back to the one guy, KBG, that's on there. We had this random guy that just joined it, and he wouldn't really talk some of it. And I remember we finished up one night, and it was just us three on there, and we're like, KBG, turn your microphone on. Who are you? Like, what? Like,
who are you?
The interrogation.
Enjoys turf and lives in Oklahoma, and he found us and liked it. So he just would pop on and listen to what we were talking about. He's learning, and he's got his yard that he oversees and mows it with a little reel mower, and he posts pictures every once in a while. And we actually became, close enough with him that we text him and he texts us about stuff. And we were trying to get him a job actually in the industry. Didn't really work out, but he enjoys it and loves watching. He's an Oklahoma football fan, so he gets to see that turf in a different light. And yeah, it's just something. It's not even an industry person, and he enjoyed it too. So
That's very cool. Is he maybe the most random connection you've made on there? Have there been any other random moments that really stand out for you?
I think he was. I think he is the one that would be the most
probably.
active, I guess, because there's a ton of random people that will show up, like homeowners that just have a yard that they're obsessed with. They'll just pop in. I don't know if they were friends with KBG. They see him on, they just pop in there. If there's like a residential group.
Yeah, we had a
Go
guest
around.
on, and somebody came on the same thing. They didn't know anything about what we were doing, but saw whoever it was on there, and that's why they came on to listen. It's like, do you guys do residential turf, or what do you guys do? And we're like, we do grass. It's
Yeah,
just
right.
kind of anything. Like you never know what we're going to be talking about. And they're like, okay.
So,
So
so along those lines, then residential, and you hear superintendents get those questions from members all the time. As a superintendent, how annoyed or do you get annoyed when you continue to get those questions from members asking about their lawns?
It doesn't bother me. It's just
Okay.
simple stuff. My lawn, my yawn. My yard's the size of Rob's kitchen table. So I mean, it's easy. I just throw some seed out there in the winter.
I actually had a when I first started there, one of the rangers came up. I didn't know who it was, like 'cause I didn't really know everybody there, but he came up to me and asked me to come look at his house because he just built a house and wanted to look at his yard. And his whole yard was Bahia. He's like, "How do I get this to be, better and this and that?" And I'm like, "It's gonna take a lot, man. Like, it's not just yeah. Like some people make this stuff look easy, but you got to start somewhere. You can't start with, the easiest grass to grow in Florida and go to something high maintenance. It's gonna be a lot. Like it's not something that I can undertake. I can tell you what you need to do, but I can't go do that for you.
So you wouldn't recommend a homeowner building a putting green in their yard?
Yeah.
Is that a no-go?
Yeah, it's a little bit of work to maintain.
You can do an AstroTurf one. They don't got to do anything to it. So
Well,
Looking at
there's still
Rob's
some work
backyard.
to that, man. You got to still put some infill down and some sand and brush it out. But yeah, no, definitely
Keep
not
the
the same.
weeds out.
yeah, exactly.
We did Rob's backyard, so we actually did a job where a caddy wanted some turf for his townhouse. So I told him, okay, we'll get you the grass, but any extra we keep. So we laid down 50 square foot
Probably.
maybe, and we brought the whole pallet back to Rob's house. We're out there slinging it. I'm looking out now. It was pretty
Because
good.
I had already put out a couple pallets of it myself. My backyard just was with everybody running around, had no grass in the middle. So I threw a couple pallets down there, and then he did this. I'm like, oh, well, that's almost enough to
Citrus zoy,
Yeah.
yeah, citrus zoy, some zoysia back there. It looks good.
Nice.
Well, I wanted to ask you guys about, kind of being in the media side of this industry. There's a big shift right now with a lot of the innovation, and we have a lot of younger people coming up with that follow a lot of social media and things like that. So, do you guys see yourselves growing Turf Talk? Do you want to get to the next level and take it on the road, or try and help students and things like that? Like you obviously have an audience and you have a good voice. So, where do you kind of see yourselves taking this thing?
Man, that's tough. I mean, we're just going with it, I think,
Yeah.
right? It's
And
kind of riding it.
I feel like we're helping already a little bit here and there with some of our stuff because I feel like there's a lot of people. Oh, there's my dog. What is here? I don't know. I feel like we've already done a lot with what we're doing, but it's only going to go up from there. Because I mean, there's a lot of interaction that we get that we don't expect to hear or see, and getting some of the like when we had Drew Miller on and stuff like that, being able to reach some other people and Mike Platt from my old stomping grounds here. I think a lot of that gets out there, and even my assistant that we have at Hammock Creek, he listens to some of it and is starting to catch on to it. So it's not only helping when you're actually listening to it and on it with the different educational stuff, but I feel like some of it's actually educational in the first place that he's learning a lot just from listening to some of the turf talks just in general.
Yeah, do you guys have any like big success stories maybe where guys have really been helped out through information being shared through the show?
Nothing that would jump out. I
Yeah.
just think week by week, it's like, what are you seeing? Okay, are you doing this? Are you doing that? What do you think I should do? but nothing that would be like, oh, this guy was really in a rut. We turned it around because turf talk, you know.
The
Stuff will come up, right? Like as you're
yeah,
going,
and
there's probably things you don't know that are happening too. You've probably impacted people's lives, and like you said, you've probably taught them things, and there's things that they've picked up on in the different turf talks, and they don't reach out and tell you, but it's happened.
right, exactly. And just getting the information out. I mean, there was times even on like the golf maintenance Facebook groups, there's been people asking about different things, and I would share a link to one of the turf talks where we had somebody like they had the Firefly. Somebody was asking about that, so I shared them the link. I'm like, hey, go listen to this. This might help you guys out, and at least hear some of the information you guys are asking questions about. Um, I think also even having Todd Lowe on with us a lot, he's got a lot of insight to seeing a lot of golf courses and seeing what everybody's going through, at least in the Florida region here, that I feel like helps people out, like you said, just not directly, but will at least get somebody in the right mindset to if they have a problem, maybe everybody's going through the same thing, or he heard a problem that got solved, and maybe you have the same problem. He's able to help you that way, just even talking it out on there.
So I want to know what your time management looks like, guys. You're both, working full time on the golf course. You're doing this show. You've got families. How on earth do you manage everything?
No kidding.
You just make time, it's I don't know. There's not really free time. It's one night a week. It's one night a week that we do it. Our families know and understand it's only for an hour or two. I don't know. It's difficult. Yeah, work is work. We all know what we signed up for. We all understand the golf course comes first, but you have a couple of hours one night a week. I don't think it's too much.
And just with me having to schedule, I'm usually the problem with. I got
Rob's
four
got
kids.
he's got
and,
4 kids, 20 kids
I mean,
running around.
if you just look at next week alone, I've got 4 baseball practices next week because we start baseball next week. Plus, not knowing what my son for travel has going, because they're starting little league also. So we're in 2 different little leagues. So it's just insanity. We just got to figure out the right night and try to stick to one night. And
there's 2 of us too, so like sometimes
that
I
too.
can't make it, or Rob can't make it. One of us will roll solo. It's rare nowadays, but we can pick up the other one when they can't handle it, or they have prior responsibilities.
And I think having the guest on helps a lot. When we just pop on there and we're like, hey, we're going to talk about the weather or whatever we're going to talk about. It seems like it's a lot harder than it was when we first started because we used to have a lot of involvement, and it seems like we don't have as many people chiming in as we did in the beginning, because I feel like when we have a guest on that they're like, okay, we're just going to listen to what's going on and not really pipe in with any questions or any comments or anything like that. But I mean, we enjoy that because then it's just somebody else's thoughts and not only our own, because that's kind of why we started this thing.
Have you guys had any guests on that really exceeded your expectations?
Yeah, a lot of them, like
Yeah.
a lot were just.
That's like us too. We're usually just like, oh my gosh, he's good. Oh my gosh, they
Yeah.
were awesome.
I mean, one really cool one that we need to visit it sometimes when we had Bjarni, the superintendent that's in Iceland. We had a lot of technical difficulties with him. We kept losing him and having to get back, so it was really choppy. That we should probably have him on again and really try to get it so it's a little better than it was, because there was a lot of cool information hearing from him how they do stuff. When they're growing grass 24 hours a day and nonstop golf and the heat, the ground freezing and stuff. Like it was really cool to listen to some stuff. That same thing, like we're both from down here. Ty's a little bit of North experience, but there's a lot of stuff that is outside of our area here that we enjoy hearing about. I mean, the sports turf guys, I feel like we've gotten a little bit more into them lately because they've got a lot of cool stuff they've been doing. Ryan Bjorn up there that takes care of all the New England Patriots and the New England Revolution fields, had a lot of cool stuff, and they're changing over their grass to, their turf to grass for FIFA and the World Cup. And we're gonna have a couple more on that have that same type of thing going on. So I think I was listening to the USGA podcast, and they said something about they had Travis Hogan on, and they were saying the golf course guys always want to know about sports turf owners want to know about golf courses. And we're kind of like, yeah, they have the same thing but smaller footprint, but under the microscope a little bit more than we even are.
That's so funny. We actually spoke with Tanner from SoFi Center this morning. Did a little bit with him.
Nice.
Oh, cool.
We had a lot of that conversation talking about how those two groups don't interact as much as they probably should. That's
Right.
pretty interesting. You brought that up.
I want to go drive down there and just go see his plots out there. I mean, it's 30 minutes from my house. It's not like it's far away. So I should just drive down and go see him.
Yeah,
You
go
should.
see it, check it out, get some tickets, and be a part of one of those events.
Yeah, exactly.
That's awesome. So you mentioned earlier, it's not necessarily meant to be therapeutic, but for you guys, is that an outlet for you to kind of vent and almost have a little bit of a therapy session for yourselves then?
Yes.
Short answer.
Yes,
Yes,
in short,
absolutely.
yes. It is. It absolutely is.
Got your dog a turf there, Rob?
Yeah, she was running around trying to bite my butt a
Oh, what
second
a
ago. So I'll
sweetie.
grab her.
Bite me.
Yeah. Of yard turf. Doesn't go to work. But
We love a dog on the podcast.
That's awesome.
Yeah, just to get out and talk about it. I don't get out as much as I used to, and just doing it on Turf Talk, it helps. It helps. Sometimes either one of us will have a bad day, and it'll really, you could feel it. It's kind of weighing heavy on you, and just talking it through with someone like, man, this is just, I don't know what's going on. It's like, you got this. Hey, we know what we're doing out here. It's gonna get better. It's not gonna get worse. You know what's going on,
And
and
Ty's talked me off the ledge a couple times with
Yeah.
stuff going on down here because we've had some horrible winters last year and this year. I mean, we've had some good times and bad times this time, but when it's those streaks of it like that, it's no fun. So sometimes everybody needs a little pick me up sometimes.
What do you guys
so,
see as things that we can start doing to really start helping some of the younger guys, or some of the people that are coming up in the career right now or in the industry right now?
we're doing a good job getting information out and showing people what we do in our industry. When I got in it, and I'm sure when you guys got in it, no one really knew when you were going to school, you could be a superintendent, you could grow grass on a golf course and make a career out of it. I did, at least. And I think now, through First Green and through high school programs like Tiger Turf and South Fork Turf program, I think we're doing a so much better job just getting the information out there and supporting those programs as well. That's it, really. I think that we're doing a better job overall, just getting the word out.
Yeah, I think I remember in high school, I've told this story before, but we had a recruiter come in that was a military recruiter. And you write down on this piece of paper he gave you what you want to be when you grow up, even though we're in high school already. And I put golf course superintendent. He's like, oh, I bet you everybody in here has something to do in the military. And he went around the room and he's like, anybody have one they don't think? And I raised my hand and told him, and he's like, no, I really don't know. Like I've never heard somebody say anything about that before.
I
But
think there is, right?
yeah, knowing now
Yeah.
there's plenty of military golf courses and stuff, but this guy had no clue about that. And I'm like, well, you came to a school that has a golf course. You should probably pick that one up. That's kind of unique to the whole high school area. That you should probably think about that one. But I think a lot more people see it and realize it, and also knowing not only our industry is not just about just growing grass. There's the mechanics. There's places around my area here that they're small cities. They have everything that has to do with the golf course. They have electricians. There's like the whole community. It's not only the golf course itself. And I think, people hearing more about that would definitely push people into the golf industry a little bit too.
So I wanted to get your guys' thoughts on the social media space right now. Obviously, you guys host it on X. What are your thoughts on? And I've seen a lot of conversation. I'm sure you guys have too, where turf Twitter is gone. Where do you guys? Yeah, where do you guys the doom and gloom?
No, I don't think it's dead. I really don't think it's dead. It's not what it used to be. I think it used to be a lot friendlier, a lot more information. A lot of people would put it out there. Now people kind of, I see a lot more people keep it close to their heart. Like, okay, we're doing this, but don't let anyone know we're doing this. It's different, but I don't see it going away.
It's still an information avenue. I mean, there's always other ones, but I still feel like that's one of the better ones because you can get it, real time. And some of the other Facebook groups and stuff. Yeah, you can post something now, but you might never see it. You can always go back in a timeline on X and be able to find stuff a little bit easier that way.
Ty, I've got to ask you, and I don't know if we're allowed to mention where you actually work, but do you feel semi-handcuffed in that you're probably not able to share a lot of what's going on your property?
Yep.
Yes.
That's all I'm allowed to say.
Yeah. I found myself in the principal's office more times than I'd like to. And really at the end of the day, I'm just talking about something I love doing and somewhere I love being. So but yeah, sometimes I gotta I'll put the training wheels on, I guess, or gotta be a better word for that. But yeah,
Rob, is a totally different scenario for you. You're
Rob's
pretty
the
open,
complete
able to do
opposite.
whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. They
Being at
like the exposure.
the semi-public golf course, yeah, I can have a little more free space to say what I want to say about it. I mean, yeah, you don't want to throw anybody under the bus or do anything like that, but could talk about what I'm doing, what I'm seeing, and all that stuff, and not really worry about that I'm going to get sent to the principal's office.
Yeah, it happens. There's private clubs out there that don't want stuff out there. It's we've run into that before, so it's one of those things. We like to ask people here on the show about memories on the golf course. Do either of you guys have a really good memory from when you're younger or maybe in recent years?
I'll give a couple. Work wise, when I first got into it in 2011, I had no idea I wanted to do this, as a career. I was out there and just failed out of my second college. and and I'm out weed eating and raking bunkers every day, and there was nobody out there. Sun was shining, wind's blowing, it's not too hot out. And I just had this feeling that came over me where it's like looking around, this is amazing. This is so peaceful. This is so relaxing. Like I could do this every day. And not every day is peaceful and relaxing, but it's amazing that we get to work outside. And then just one day I was out there working. Place was called Broad Run Golf and Practice. It's closed now. It was just an executive course. And just that's when I knew like, hey, I want to learn more about this stuff. And it just started there.
A golfing one, I always think about we were playing a superintendent event. It was a 9-hole superintendent event. We were playing PGA National. It was like 6 weeks before the Honda Classic. And we were playing the back nine, and we started on, what did we start on? So we started on 15, the par three. So we started on 15, and we played up from the up tees where they had us play. And we get done. So we finish, we played 9 holes. We finish on this thing, and I'm playing with Rafael Barajas, who used to be GCSA president, Steve Wright, a giant of our industry, especially in South Florida. And I can't remember who the fourth was that was with us. But we get done on the 14th hole there, and we come around the corner, and we stop by the bear where they have the bear there and everything. And he's like, you know what? He's like, how many times you get to play where the pros actually play from? He's like, everybody else is in. It's almost dark. Let's all tee one up right here. We'll hit where the pros hit from. All 4 of us were in the water. Nobody hit the green. Nobody, but it was all 4 of us were in the drink. And we're like, all right, so this makes a lot of sense why it happens a lot. So
Leave it for the pros.
yeah, I still remember that one. That was always a really cool one to me.
Was it the back right hole location there too? Was it
Yeah,
was
it
it
was
the tournament
Sunday
Sunday
pin.
pin? Okay.
Yeah, Sunday pins. It was not easy. Like I think we did it was individual, and it was I think I actually that was the same day that we played 18 when we got to 18 there. I hit my drive, and I'm like I'm never gonna play this again. I'm gonna try to take it over the bunker where these guys take it over. We were playing up, and I hit the face of the bunker, and it rolled back in the fairway bunker. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna take a 7-iron and just knock it up that way. And it hits the top of the bunker and sits there, like right on the top of the thing, like the bunker. I'm like, crap. I'm like, I'm still 240 out. I'm like, what have I got to lose now? So I take my 3-wood out, and I smoke one, his best 3-wood of my life, and it goes to like 6 inches, almost goes in.
Oh.
So get to go up and tap it in for birdie. But it was funny. The guys that were putting up the scaffoldings and stuff were giving me like this slow golf clap. There's like 8 or 10 guys up there with this little
Nice.
echoing golf clap from the stand. So it was pretty funny.
That's great.
Walking
So
up, giving them a wave.
Yeah, exactly. I
tip
waved
of the cap.
tapped it in. Yeah.
Speaking of playing where the pros play, are you guys playing in the golf championships at all in San Diego?
No,
You guys going to San Diego?
Not going this year. Orlando next year because it's right in our backyard here. So we'll definitely go to that one.
Yeah, I'm going. But I am not a golfer. I am not a golfer. I'd say I'm a 30 handicap, around a 30 handicap. So no golf championship for me. I didn't make the cut. I wouldn't make the cut.
Well, we'll put it this way. We started a little segment on Turf Talk. We started asking guys questions from the rough. And the one that Ty has to ask every time is, you're 50 yards out, putter or are you chipping? And because Ty's the putter from anywhere within 50 yards, he pulls that putter out. And
The Texas wedge all around the golf course.
Doesn't matter.
100 yards out because I don't have the touch. I don't have the feel for that.
That's great. That's all right. We were talking to some folks now that they've got the farmers this week, and they're going to be hosting the Genesis there. I think like the week after us, we're taking kind of over under bets on how many golf balls people lose out there on Torrey South. I mean, that rough's going to be gnarly. It's going to be entertaining. So I doubt you would be putting it out of that rough over there, Ty.
Oh, he would give it a try.
Watch me.
Just try to pop it right out.
Exactly. He would make it. He'd figure out a
Let
way.
me show you something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never played any of the golf events, but I think when it comes to Orlando next year, I'm going to try to play them. I've never done that before. So,
You guys part of any of your local associations, or do you guys do anything kind of outside of your own golf courses to network?
Yeah, we're both in Treasure Coast on the board of directors for the Treasure Coast GCSAA. What else we do? South Florida.
I'm still a part of the Palm Beach chapter too. I don't do as much with them as I used to when I was down that way. But still, when I can, I go to the meetings with them, and I'm able to kind of, with the South Fork High School program, be able to update them because they want to stay involved with it too. Because we're both on that committee with that too. So
advisory board.
Yeah,
advisory board for the South Fork High School turf program. They're going to rebuild a 3-hole golf course. 3-hole.
Oh, wow.
It might be more than that, but it's going to start with that. So
very
cool. It's exciting.
So I want to understand a little bit more about the culture, the golf culture in Southeast Florida. Talk about the expectations of managing a golf course in Southeast Florida. I mean, it just seems to me there's so much golf there, and the level of expectations, whether public or private, is pretty high down there. Is that perception accurate?
Yes. Yeah, it definitely is, especially from coming up north. They did not have things. The magnifying glass wasn't as tight as it is here, and this is year round too. So you have people coming in summer or in winter. It's not just spring, a little bit of summer and fall like up north is. It's just so much more detail oriented, at least where I'm at, where I came from. But I think even where you're at now, Rob, you get criticism. Why is this like this? Why is that like that?
Yeah, because we always got to think of, especially when we were at private clubs or when I was at private club, you got to remember that all these people come down from the north, and they've been on a perfect golf course until they came down here, and they expect it to be perfect again from November 1st all the way through the end of March, April. It needs to be perfect that whole time. It's pretty difficult to do, and that where I am now, it's a daily fee golf course. We do have some members, but it's more of a fact that they just don't have to pull the credit card out when they show up every day. They've already paid for it, and they're just gonna go play 5-6 times a week. But that from November to December, we're kind of busy. We're not anything crazy insane yet. We're still doing 180 rounds a day, something like that, 160. But from January 1st to the end of March, we're booked almost every day, 240, 260 a day, and it's just wall to wall. We got to get out in the morning and do our thing. If it doesn't get done first thing there's a lot of stuff we can't do. We just got to wait until the next day and catch back up where we were. But there's not as many public golf courses in the area as there used to be. There's a lot of private golf courses, especially with ones that are being built around us and things, but not as much good public golf as there was. So it's kind of a high commodity, and people know where they want to play, and they go to the same ones. And we have a group of guys. I hadn't seen them this year, but I remember them coming through last year, that they come down and they play Hammock Creek every year. They've played every year for like 5 or 6 years. They do a 2-week period that they come down to Florida, and that's their first stop. And they have some other stops they go to. And I think it's a really good niche that isn't filled all the way down here, that there's with the public golf courses, at least.
Rob, you're doing 180 rounds a day. Ty, you're probably doing 180 in a month or two, probably, right? It's pretty different.
I don't know.
Allegedly,
hard to say.
Allegedly, I told him one day we did 240, and he's like, "Oh, we got 24." Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's night and day, really.
That's crazy.
Opposite ends of the spectrum here.
What about tournaments? You guys are obviously very busy. Have you guys done any tournament volunteering or anything like that?
Yeah, I went up to Pinehurst for the U.S. Open. That was fun. The networking you do, the people you meet is just amazing. The little tips and tricks you pick up, you see how they prep a golf course, and maybe you do something similar, or you get something here, pick up something there that you could bring back to your course and use. And I've always liked doing it.
Yeah, I haven't done it in a bunch of years, but the Honda, I did that for 4 or 5 years. So
What's
that
that
was
called now?
yeah the Cognizant Classic.
Cognizant.
Yeah, but that was really fun to do. I always enjoyed doing that, especially because I was working 20 minutes from there, so I was able to go in the morning, do my stuff there, go back to work for 4 or 5 hours, and then show back up over there and do my afternoon shift. So my John Spiewak was able to help me out and work with me on that, and I really enjoyed it. And Ty and I were joking about when the Olympics are coming to California, we already told Thomas Bastis that put us on the list. We want to volunteer at it. We want to.
Yeah,
we're
that's
already
bucket list for
Yeah.
me, man.
we're already ready to go, and we've got to take vacation, whatever we got to do. We're going to be there for that one, so it'll be fun.
That's going to be pretty special. As long as you guys can pass the background checks, is that going to be a problem?
I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah, Olympics are pretty hard on that kind of stuff.
They call me tater salad, I guess. So we'll see.
That is going to be a pretty special event. It sounds like if you're already talking to Thomas, you're talking to the right guy. So that's pretty cool.
you can pull some strings for us.
Yeah, absolutely. With so much kind of evolution and change in this industry right now, is there anything you guys are really excited to see that's coming down the pipeline as far as just how this industry continues to change?
Well, autonomous mowers. I think that we're so close. I don't think that they're there yet. Don't think that they're there yet, but I can feel it. I can feel like it's coming, and you send all your fairways and your tee mowers out, and one person watches over them. You just let them go. They're not going to be sitting on their cell phone, or they're not going to call out sick, and lines are always going to be straight. I like that. I really do. I think it can really help out everyone.
I think on those kind of the same lines, the drone sprayers, that keeps piquing my interest every time I hear about it. They use it a lot in in the orange groves and a lot of the roadways and stuff. They do some road banks and stuff with them. I think there's got to be an application for golf courses, especially down here where like I was saying before, doing 240, 250 a day. You don't have time to go spray fairways and that kind of stuff. You gotta be able to keep up with it. So if you can figure out a way to put one of those babies out at night and go do some of your spraying for you, I think that would help out a lot. So my dog's eating something.
We could just start hearing some Christmas vacation hacking under the table here soon or something.
The warning signs.
Yeah.
My shoes.
No,
Yeah. You talk about the autonomous mowing, Ty. I mean, how do you think that's going to benefit the industry? I mean, is it simply just because they are there, they're not going to be calling off sick and that's
Well, yeah. You can focus. You can send your labor that does get there. If you have labor issues, which we've had since COVID, yeah, there's your labor. It's right there. And if you do have labor, you can focus on other things. You can reallocate. Instead of you mowing fairways, you're going to go over here. You're going to put some detail into this, do bunkers or do landscape. That's another thing I would like to see is a bunker Roomba, I call it. I don't know if they have one or if they're coming out with one, but I would love to see one of those things. Throw it out there, it breaks the bunker, throw it to the next one.
maybe the drone could pick it up and drop it.
Yeah.
there you go.
That'd be perfect.
Air strikes with the with the bunker Roombas.
You get rain, you're like, I'm not going out there. Just pick it up with the drone, fly it, drop it.
Have the
in.
little backhoe blade on it to push the bunker faces up. Be a whole thing.
We're not supposed to release too much right now, but we did talk to somebody the other day that said that there will be one at the show. So that will be fun to see.
Got to go find it.
I'll
You
find them.
have to walk around and find it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Very cool. Well, this has been fantastic, guys. This is your show. We'll kind of open it up to you. Is there anything you guys want to talk about?
Getting out to San Diego. I'm excited for that. I haven't gone in a couple of years, so getting out there, seeing people I haven't seen in a while, seeing new bunker Roombas that might be coming out, and seeing California too. I've never been out that far west in the country, so I'm excited for that. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, it'll be neat. This episode is actually going to drop the Tuesday of the conference. So people that are down there will be listening to all of us during the conference. So is there any advice or tips or anything that you guys have for people, whether it's the showroom floor or it's the show in general?
Well, I've always heard, and I've done it this way and saw a lot of cool stuff. Walk around the outsides of that show. Walk around the edges. That's where all the up and coming innovative stuff I feel like always is. And you see a lot of the smaller companies that are coming out with really cool technology that, I'm sure some of these bigger companies will end up purchasing and putting into their own platforms. But I feel like it's a where all the big stuff really gets shown up, and get to see some of the really cool, innovative things.
That's good advice.
Don't be afraid to talk to anybody that you see that you might want to talk to or know. I'm like, we're all the turf nerds walking around. With my somebody told me that they thought it was called Turf Con. It was kind of the Comic Con of turf. So
That
you
was
know,
Spatty.
that it was
Yesterday.
Spatty was talking about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's like, don't be afraid to start talking to somebody. Everybody's got their names on there, but everybody tries to hide them or flip them over or whatever. And yeah, don't be afraid to just say hi to somebody if you don't know who they are, and talk to people. It's the only way you're going to know. And you never know, it might make a connection that helps you out someday. So,
Patty
Guys,
from Cali.
yeah, yeah.
Coach Costa. Oh, nice. Yeah, I've been trying to see him the last couple of times I've been out in California. Just timing has never worked out. But yeah, awesome.
maybe this trip. Let's see
Yeah,
him.
well, he's up north. He's up in San Francisco. He's in the
I think
East
he's
Bay.
going, right?
But he's going to be there.
I'll probably
Oh,
touch
yeah.
base with him again when he's out there. But Ty, when you're out there, make sure we've got a little get together Tuesday afternoon. So make sure you stop by. I'll send you the link
Send it.
as soon as we get
Yeah.
off this call.
I'm excited to go.
That when you guys did the arcade thing, well, that was
Yeah.
in San Diego last time you were there, right?
It
That
was, yeah.
That was awesome. That was really cool. I've never been to something like that with all the pinball games and all the old school basketball games and stuff. That was awesome.
That was fun. That was the launch party. And I think we got lucky that year because it was, just coming off COVID. They were still kind of just opening things up. So I got a pretty good deal on that. Now, like this year, it's like everyone wanted a minimum of, 7,500 or 10 grand or something. I'm like, guys, I can't do that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we're not hosting this big party here. Just want to get some guys together.
That's it. Yeah, I'm not charging everyone $100 to come in and have 2 beers and walk away. So
Right.
yeah, lucked out. We found Whiskey Girl. They're taking care of us, so I'm excited for it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, awesome guys. Well, yeah, and Rob, you came out. You stopped by the Par 3 Challenge, the Par 3 event last year, real quick.
That
too,
was really cool. I'm like, when you guys said that you were doing it, I'm like, I gotta go see this place, because it was so cool seeing that par 3 golf course and having the oversteed, and it was like a mini TPC over there with that going on. It was really cool.
too?
Yeah, and it was
You thought it
lighted
was
and
lit up?
everything. And yeah, it was a different animal, and I think there's definitely a spot for that even in South Florida here. I'm surprised nobody's
No
really
kidding.
captured one of those for a public golf course.
Well, have you been down to the park yet and played there? What is it? The Lit?
Nope.
You need to
I
go.
haven't
You
been to
guys
that one. I
gotta
got
go,
invited
yeah.
one time, and I couldn't get down there because imagine I had baseball.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Yeah, the park is something special.
It's cool. We had a real quick trip a couple weeks ago. We went down there and we took a spin around it. It was a lot of fun and sat around and enjoyed the big putting course and bar and all that kind of stuff too. And the one thing that really awed everybody that was there was their their drink contraption, that they actually bottle their own drinks. Like they'll make you a transfusion or they'll pour a beer into this little
Look
plastic
at this
mug.
thing.
He's still got it.
Oh.
Yeah, and they just they
That's
go
so
ahead
cool,
and
eh?
they secure it with that
Yeah.
lid.
That's
I was like,
awesome.
can you just send me or make me an empty one so I can bring it home with me? The lady's like, all right.
Yes. Yeah.
$5.
I'll be back down. I'll be back down your way the end of February. So I'm gonna have to hit you guys up and meet you guys up.
Definitely.
We'll meet at the park or something and
There we go.
play some night
I like
golf. Yeah.
Night
yeah.
golf, putting at night.
That's right. That's right. But guys, this has been awesome. Really appreciate you coming on and chatting with us for a little bit. I think it's our first time we've had 2 guests.
Yeah.
And definitely 2 guests sharing a computer. So worked out really well. Glad you guys were able to fit it in the schedule here. And again, just appreciate you coming on and sharing your stories with us.
And my house being close to work, and then in between where Ty is and where my mother-in-law is, it just worked out perfect. I'm like, just stop here, and then because my kids are over there too, I got to go get them. So it's like,
Perfect.
Awesome. Well, we really appreciate this, boys.
Cool. Adam, Brian, thanks, man. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you, boys. This was great.
Yep. Thanks, guys. We'll talk soon.
Yeah, definitely.
Turf Today is also brought to you by Standard Golf. For over 100 years, Standard Golf has been the trusted name in golf course accessories. As inventors and innovators, they design, manufacture, and assemble cutting-edge tools that deliver precision, durability, and eye-catching design, all proudly made in the USA. More than just a manufacturer, Standard Golf is a dedicated partner to superintendents and Sport Turf managers, supporting their line of work with a seamless supply chain and exceptional customer service. Standard Golf, crafted for superintendents, driven by innovation.
Very cool stuff there. Good guys.
Great guys, and the more people that can create these conversations and tell stories about the people in our industry, and get more people involved, get more people, get more eyeballs on what we're doing, the better. And there's two guys right there that are hardworking guys. They love their jobs. They got families. They got a lot going on, but they still take the time out of their week to give back. So it's huge.
Yep. And again, just having that forum where it's like we kind of joked about earlier, it's a live audience, right? They're doing it on streaming it live from X. So it's, you never know what you're going to get. So that's one thing I guess we never really asked is like, is there been any weird situations where, you get some rando just popping in and I guess photo bombing, for lack of a better term, and just dropping in and doing Zoom bombing, I think is what they call them these days. So
yeah, you never know what's going to happen when you do it live like that.
That's right.
But you got to be the right kind of people, and they definitely do a good job.
Yep, absolutely. It's all about bringing people together, and they're doing that with the Turf Talk over there. So I gotta make a point to jump on a little more frequently and see what's cooking in there.
Yeah, we should jump on there one time with them.
Yeah.
See if we can
just
join.
Hijack their show one night.
Yeah. We're here. What's going on?
What's up, guys?
Yeah, that's funny. Well, that's why we aren't live. We record and edit our shows.
Yes, because you never know what's going to happen.
Yeah, exactly. We bring on guests where we have to clean them up sometimes because of the things they say. Got to keep people jobs.
Those bad
How do we
apples.
have anybody lose their jobs?
Yep, that's right. Well, that was funny. I wasn't sure how much Ty was going to be able to get into where he worked and all that. That was funny. Immediately cover up the logo.
That's funny. But when you go to his Twitter profile, it does say where he works. So it's not like he's super secretive about it.
Yeah, he's got it on there. So I think I tell you the story when I tried to go visit there a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't think my owner would want that. Like, okay,
understandable.
No problem. No problem.
Yeah,
I've seen some pictures out there, and from what I've been told, those people get do not return letters. So I don't know if that's true or not, but
there's a chance.
Pretty strict.
Yeah. From what I've heard about the courses, it's just him and his buddies, and if you're not invited, you're not fucking going.
Yeah, so that's right. You know what? It's his golf course. That's fine. That's fine. There's a lot of chatter about some of these clubs that have these whatever policies. It's like, well, look, it's their club. Yeah, private club. They can do what they want with it.
He built the property because he wasn't allowed to do what he wanted at other golf courses. So they said, "Why don't you build your own?" He said, "All right,
yeah,
let's do that."
Oh, it's so good. So good.
All right, buddy.
All right, man. Have a great weekend. Good luck at the tournament.
Appreciate it. We'll be in touch. I'll send you some stuff.
Yeah, please do. We'll see you, man.
Take care. Well, that's going to do it for us, folks. It's another great episode. We appreciate you stopping by. We want to shout out our sponsors, The Toro Company, The Andersons, Standard Golf, Apex 10, and Flash Weather AI. We couldn't do it without you guys. We will see you next week. Hope you enjoy the show. Pace yourselves and keep those fucking reels sharp.